Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We're excited to have Peter List joining us from Tasklet Factory. Peter will be presenting on mobile production management for Microsoft Dynamics 365 BC and NAV. And as a reminder to you, we are recording this webinar and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And if you do have any questions during our presentation, please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will answer them during our Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I will pass it on over to Peter to kick off our presentation.
Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar on the new production feature that we've just added to our mobile WMS solution. My name is Peter List, I'm the CTO and founder of Tasket Factory, and I have the pleasure of taking you through this new module today and demonstrating what it can do for you and how it can add value in your businesses. If we quickly go through the agenda, so the intention is to try to keep it to 20 minutes today so we can have a quick walkthrough. I'll quickly introduce the company to you who doesn't know us. I'll explain the kind of ideas behind the new production feature and then spend most of the time demoing the solution so you can see the details and kind of see what it is and perhaps what it's not. At the end of the session, we'll be doing some polls, and I hope that you'll stick around for that to give us some feedback that will really help us evaluate the content and what you've seen today. So that's the plan. I hope you're all ready to go through this with me, and let's get started. So Tasket Factory develops the mobile WMS solution. We've been doing it for since 2008, and we've integrated it to both Dynamics NAV, Business Central, and also the other ERP system in Microsoft's range, AX and Dynamics 365 F&O. This session focuses purely on the Business Central version. Our solutions are sold through our global network of Microsoft Dynamics partners, and through since 2008, we've gathered more than 750 happy customers in more than 30 different countries. We are represented in both Denmark, where our headquarters, and in Tampa, Florida, where we have established an office there as well. We're also a reseller of mobile robots that can help you transport items inside your warehouse. I think that's it. We don't want to spend more time on the company profile, so let's get into let's dive into what this new production feature can do for you. Well, pretty much the way we've designed the solution is that we've pretty much modeled it after the way that you use the production journal in Business Central. So, and this is the same as with any other feature that you find in the mobile WMS solution. There is an alternative way of doing it if you're just typing in data through the Business Central client, but of course it's more efficient to work on the warehouse floor or in the production area where you can use a mobile device to input that data and use the scanner. So that's kind of the, if you're thinking about what can I do with it, what you can do with the production journal, you can now do on the mobile device. The solution works with or without routes, so you can have the super simple production orders where it's just gathering pretty much just getting the output. But if you have the more complex scenarios where you've set up different routes, they will show up on the mobile device as well. You can work with it on different locations. So depending on how you've set up your location card, if you're requiring the use of pick documents, put away documents, all that good stuff that you can set on your location card, we have support for all of them, and the feature will adapt to the way Business Central is configured, and that's again a key thing that we put into the product, that our solution adapts to the way that you've set up the production module. We have full support for item tracking. That means both the items that you consume, if they are item tracked, that's put in, but also on the output the items that you produce, if they require serial numbers, they are captured serial numbers or lot numbers, item tracking. Then this is captured in the process as well. So again, hopefully, you know, a fairly simple module to work with, at least to set up, because you just need to focus on setting up production so that it fits your setup, and then our app will adapt to it. All right, that was enough for the PowerPoint. Hopefully that didn't scare anyone away, but let's go to the demo part of the session. So I have a mobile device with me that we can look at, and then of course I have a Business Central sandbox that we can play around with. And I thought that the best way to kind of show it to you would be to just start from the beginning and create a production order. So if I go in and create a released production order, and I'll just create a new one, give it a number, and then we need to decide which item that I want to work with. And if you look at some of the items that we can choose here. So here, what I was telling you before in the PowerPoint is that, you know, we've set up different items. For example, here's an item that it doesn't require any item tracking on the, you know, on the produced product, but there's an example where it's using either a route or no route. We have an item here where the outputted item requires lot number tracking with and without route, and the same for serial numbers. So I'm not going to go through, you know, every possible scenario. I'm going to take a scenario where, yeah, that'll kind of show you know, one example of what you can do. So here's an item that has routing and also will produce a lot number when it's done. So I'm going to take this item, TF11, a box of chocolates, and those of you who've been to other Tasket Factory demos know that we're fond of chocolate. So what's more logical than producing a box of them? So that's what we want to do. And let's just say we want to produce 2 of these. And yeah, we need to select the location that we're working on. And again, there's all sorts of different ways you can configure your solutions, from the blue warehouse that doesn't use, you know, it doesn't use bins, it doesn't use warehouse receipts, putaways, nothing, and then all the way up to the white location that uses the full warehousing functionality that Business Central has to offer. You know, those 2 things and everything in between is supported. I've chosen to do the demo here on a bin, sorry, on a location that uses the put-away documents and the picking documents and bins. So that's the what I'll be demoing on, because it kind of shows you some kind of the middle ground here. All right. And based on this, you know, this is set up which output bin things will go to. But that's pretty much it, what I need to put in. There is planning here. You can put in a date, and this, what you put in here will actually, that will have a consequence for what you see on the mobile device. So the production order lines that you see on the device will be sorted according to the starting date. Let's just keep this one, and yeah, I think that's it. Then it's just a matter of refreshing it, calculating everything, and now we have a line that we can work on. So just before we jump out on the mobile device to see what the process looks like, I just want to open up the components, because the mobile device supports both the consumption of items and of course the output of items. But when you do consumption, you have the option, if you want to do it on the mobile device, or if you want to just use flushing to get it done. So an important configuration here is that the flushing method is manual. If that is true, then the consumption lines will show up on the mobile device, and you can do the consumption as you do it. And if you set it to something else, it won't show up. Yeah, I think that's it from here. And again, now we're just starting the production order here, and before anything can happen, we need to get some items transferred from the warehouse to our inbound production bin so we can start using it. And since we are using a location where we're using the just the picking document, that's what's called the inventory pick, and we actually have a couple of options of how to get stuff to your bin. Because when we go on the warehouse and click this button right here, see we have the possibility, we're not going to do put away, but we can either create an inventory pick or we can create an inventory movement. And here you have the choice. But if you decide to do the pick document, then it's actually going to pick and consume in one process. If you do the movement, then you first do the transfer, and then you have to manually consume the items. So I want to show you both things. So, but let's start out by creating an inventory pick. So now this is created, an inventory pick, and we can see that on the mobile device. So I'm just going to go over to our picking module, and here we can see that there is a pick for this production order. So I'll just go into it. And here I can see the bins that I'm picking from. So here it's this bin right here is actually the inbound bin in our production area. And then there are some items that it couldn't find there. So it has actually instructed the picker to go out in the real warehouse and pick up these items. So let's get this done. So I'll just go through the normal scanning process. So I'll scan my item. I'll scan my bin, and then put in the quantity that I consume, and then I'll do the same thing for the other items. The next item, this is where I'm going out to the real warehouse. I need to put in my lot number. I'll do that and put in 2, and the last item is actually serial number tracked, just to see that you can do that as well. And I'm going to scan my serial number and do the same for the next line. All right, so now I've picked everything. So when I click OK and I post the order, then you'll actually see, if we go back here in Business Central, and if we look at the item ledger entries, you can see now we actually have some posted consumption. So all the stuff that I picked on my mobile device, that's already consumed. So I think this makes, this is an option. If that makes sense to do it in in one go out and pick the items and consume in one process, then that is then you can do it by creating the inventory pick. Let's just find our order. So I'm looking for, when you see on the mobile device here, when you see the list of production orders, you can see it's actually production order lines. So it'll show each line on a production order. So if you have multiple items that you're outputting, the order will show up 2 times, and you handle each line as a separate thing with its own routing and its own consumption. But let's, but I can see a lot here. I can just, if I have a barcode with my production order number, I can quickly just filter away the irrelevant stuff and just focus in on my on the order that I'm looking at. And And you can see, you get an overview of, when it's supposed to start, how much you're producing, how much you've finished, and what you are, how much is remaining. But if we go in and look at consumption, in this case, I've already consumed my items. But I just want to show the flexibility of the solution, because even though we've already consumed it, sometimes that's, sometimes you need to take some stuff back. And in this case, I just want to show that you can actually get rid of the stuff again. So I'm going to pick minus, or consume -2 for the first 2 items here, and put in -2 here as well. And then I'm going to post it. Now we can see that I've cleared up, so the actual consumption here is now 0. And when we go back to our production order and look at the entries, well, you can see now we've added to it again. So again, super simple way to adjust. If you make a mistake, you can just do a negative entry to correct it again. And as I told you, we have the option of not just doing a pick document, but you can also do a movement. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like. I kind of like this process where you can split up the, what the warehouse is supposed to do and what the production people are supposed to do. So here we can create a movement task that'll pop up on the mobile device. If I go back here and go into the move, you can see now we have an inventory movement that that will pick up the items that are and get it to the inbound production bin. All right. So here we need to go out and pick up these items. So I'm going to scan the first one, scan the bin where I pick it, and accept that I take 2. So now I'm working in the warehouse. I need to. The first step is picking up the items. So now I'll scan the next item, validate the bin, and capture that. And then I'm transferring the items to the production bin, and then I do my scanning again, just to tell where I'm placing it and how many, and the same for the next item. Now we've done that. Now we've moved some more stuff to the production area, and now we can use the I'll show you the other way you can consume items if it's not through a picking document. I'll just go in, find my order line to work on, click on consume items, and now you can see that the number out here tells me that I still need to to consume these items, at least to do what is expected. So here I'm just going to start by scanning my bin just to get rid of that validation, because I'm taking everything from the same bin. Then I scan my item. Now you can see it's actually skipped that the bin step. So now I just have to put in the quantity, so I can do that. On the next item, I'll actually do I'll consume more than expected, so I'll put in 3. It's going to tell me that this is not as expected, but yeah, I'm okay with that. That can happen. And then I'll post these registrations, and that is done. And now we can see expected consumption is 2, but actual is 3. So you get a good overview of what has happened here. So it really just sums up everything that all the transactions you've done, and the guy on the on the production floor has a good he has visibility into the total, so he can see if there's if everything looks good or not. But here there's nothing more to consume, and that's all. That's the reason why we're still showing lines where there's really nothing to consume. But if you need to consume more than expected, then we need to have the line so you can do a registration on it. But that was the consumption part of the process. If we go in and look at the output process, then we can click on register output. All right, And as I told you, so this item is set up with routing, and you can use work senders or not, machine senders, whatever you want to use. You just set it up to match what works for you. Yeah, then you can capture this. Yeah, so the routing will show up on the mobile device. Let's just do that. And yeah, so here we have a natural order of where what needs to happen. So at the bottom of the screen you have 3 buttons that you can use to register output. You can register time, you can register scrap, and if you just click on the line or select it here, then it'll ask you to do everything all at once. But I guess the typical scenario is that let's just start by, let's register some setup time. So here I've spent 10 minutes doing setup and no runtime yet. Yeah, so again I just mistyped the setup time, but again, the same as we could do negative with the consumed items, I can also do a negative 30 minutes, get that registered, and now I have my setup time. So I can see 10 minutes. But again, as a user, I have full visibility into what I've registered so far. So that looks good. Now I want to register some that I've finished this the assembly part of the process. And yeah, I've done both of them. So that's good. And let me register some runtime as well. So no setup time, but this time I spent 45 minutes of runtime. All right, and no scrap. And yeah, and these lines are open, until you change the status of the production order. These lines are available on the device. Yeah, and that's kind of we've made a design decision to not be able to kind of finish the order from the mobile device. Someone in Business Central will review the data and then change the status there, and then it'll disappear. It would be quite easy to add the function on the mobile device, but just, yeah, that's I think that's something we need to see how people wanna use it. The next item, the last routing line is different than the other ones, because this is where we are actually putting stuff in inventory. So when I click this, oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to, again, I want to register some time. Let's just get some setup time in. So we spent 12 minutes of setup time and the process took 60 minutes. All right, now we've done that, and then we can do register output. So I'm going to click register output, but now it's asking me for the bin where I place the item. So let's do that. And since this is an item that uses lot numbers and a lot number with an expiration date, well, then you have to put that in. And just before I do this, I want to show you that you can actually, if we just go back a bit, if you want, we have the printing solution. Our label printing works here, so you can go in and click print, select the kind of label that you want to print out, and then you can put in your lot number, put in your, let's just put in something here. Put in your expiration date. And how much, if it's a box you're producing, how much is in the box, which printer it goes out to, and also how many labels. I don't have a printer connected here at the moment. And this is, this really works if, as you can see, the user has to type in the lot number. So that, we want to work on this scenario so we can get it to pull out lot numbers from from a number series. I think if this is to be really efficient, that needs to happen. But otherwise, depending on what kind of production machine you have, we kind of see that when you output, part of building the product is also getting it labeled correctly. And then in the output, when you're registering the output, you really just need to scan that label. So how you do it, if you use our printing solution or something else, that really doesn't matter, as long as you can scan that label in the in the registering output process. So let's go back here. I'll start registering output on this line, put in an expiration date, and I'll put in a lot number that as you can see, typing on a mobile device is never super good. So let's get this captured. I'll put in that we produced 2, and now I'm done. And if we look at what has happened here, you can now see that we have output of this lot number and the quantity, and now it's in our outbound bin from the production order. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You could have done all the same things just using the production journal in Business Central, but now you have a super simple way of getting it done on the mobile device instead, and hopefully that'll make it easier to track, to do a more close tracking of what goes in and out of your release production orders. I think that's it for the demo. Of course, there's a lot of other scenarios, that you can use it in. I think this showed kind of, the majority of the things. If you don't use routes, it's just going to be simpler, and all the time registration will actually go away. Yeah, let's just go back to the PowerPoint real quick. So that was the demo. I really hope that you liked it. So what is if you've seen something that you like and you want to get your hands on it, you'll be happy to learn that it's already available. It was released in the beginning of December 2020, so you can get it from AppSource if you're on Business Central SaaS, or if you're on Business Central on-prem, you can download it from the Tasket Factory University. You can download the new app file and get that installed. The solution will also be available for older versions of NAV. So from NAV 2018 down to NAV 2013, that'll be available on the university as well. And you'll be happy to know that there's no extra licensing involved to get the production feature. Of course, you need to have access to it in your Business Central license, but if you have that, there's nothing extra on the mobile WMS solution. So we want to keep things simple: one product, one price. You don't need to worry about, you can easily figure out what the price is. If you are an existing customer, please contact our service desk so we can help you get both the ERP system updated, but also sending out updated configuration files to your mobile devices, so the new feature will pop up there. Yeah, I think that's it. Now, I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully, you have just a minute more to answer a few polls, but that's what I plan to show you. And I hope to hear from you. But thanks for attending. Bye-bye.
All right, Peter, thank you for presenting. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and get them typed in and we can get them addressed for you. While you're doing that, I will let you know about some events that we have going on. We do have our new round of training workshops for you and your team members to attend. You can visit our training workshop page at anovia.com/workshops for more information and to register for the training workshop that fits your role. And we do have more webinars coming up. Next week, May 11th, we have our very own Jeff Progulski from Anovia Consulting, and he's going to be presenting on Get the Most Out of Your IT Spending with Microsoft Azure. And also Tuesday afternoon, we have Lease Query, who will be presenting on understanding the new lease accounting standards. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's anovia.com/events. And we have a podcast that's going on if you have not heard of it already. It's called the Anovia Conversation. And we just want to encourage you to listen to the selection that our hosts, Steve Waltz and Jeff Progulski, have provided to us. And you can find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page. And that's anovia.com/podcast. So check out our selection and subscribe so you'll get notified when those new episodes air. All right, well, it doesn't look like we have any questions. If you do come up with any questions later, please contact our team at Anovia Consulting or your customer engagement person, or you can contact Peter, and Peter has his information up on the screen as well. So we thank you again for joining, and if you're watching on demand, we thank you for taking the time out to join us. And we just look forward to seeing you on another Anovia webinar. Take care, everyone.